Figured I'd get an update. It's long overdue on my solar power build out here. How things are going. We left off. We had the 335 amp hour batteries wired in parallel, 105 amps, and the whole 100 watt Renogy panel to a Midnight Solar the Kid charge controller, which is a bit overkill for one panel, a bit expensive. But I knew I was going to grow up into it, and anyway, we've did some upgrading up there. We finally we took that one panel off, and I put up some other brackets and mounted super strut up there so that I could just bolt the panels to the super strut real quickly and easy, clamp them down. And I added another panel, ran it in series, and which then my wife gave me 2 more panels for Christmas. So now I've got 4 panels wired in series, and I figured I'd run higher voltage down so I have less loss in the line, make it a little more efficient since I have that big fancy charge controller for the one panel. Make some actual use out of it now. But we got 4 panels running down, so it's about 75 volts normal under load. So that definitely killed me being able to continue using the 12 volt style automotive blade fuses. That's for my down to my battery and for my panels in between it and the charge controller. So we finally hooked up the Midnight Solar's baby box, the breaker box, and some DC breakers. And we also changed out, we had just the 4 gauge wire running up to that inverter and a rat's nest of wires down to the batteries. Well, I got some bus bars as well. And I got some Blue Seas bus bars. I got the cover off of this one right now, that and the positive as well. And I ran 2 alt wire up from the batteries. And I ordered some ring terminals, but they sent one off. So I just went to Lowe's and got some copper pipe and made my own ring terminals and hooked the inverter to the battery post, and the charge controller hooked to the thing as well as a Blue Seas fuse box, so I don't have a rat's nest of wires down to the battery. We got the bus bars up here, and then we can make sure every little thing's fused, make sure we do it proper. I got a bunch of silicone wire as well because it's easy and flexible. The PV cable you get, it's 10 gauge, but it's pretty stiff. It's fine, but when you're running through breaker boxes and all, it's a bit hard to run around inside a breaker box. And if you're used to these in the RC world, you'll know this is pretty tough and real flexible, easy to work with wire. So I ran the solar panel down through this breaker, the positive leg, and it comes through here and then goes over to the charge controller. And then I ran the charge controller out in the positive leg up through the breaker here as well, and up to the bus bar. And so the next link was the battery and the inverter. I still got the 2000 watt modified sine wave inverter, and I want a pure sine wave inverter, maybe a little bigger, but I figured the batteries were the real weak link in the system right now, because I got 400 watts of solar and nowhere to put it, because the batteries were down below half capacity. Here recently I've ran them down pretty low, and then it only takes 50 amp hours to recharge, so it usually takes 30% more to charge than what you take out. So they're definitely a lot lower. So I've decided I needed some batteries before the inverter, and I've been really liking Renogy's panels, so I figured I'd give their batteries a try. So they just came in this evening. I got 2 of their 200 amp hour batteries. They are heavy. 130 pounds each. But they look good. These, if you order them, look for your bolts in the box. Otherwise, you'll easily throw them out. They're there, but they're hidden in a little Ziploc packet. The outside looks good. It came in some great packaging, some real tough boxes, and this seemed to be packed very well. They came back. I believe they're fully charged. They're showing 12.8 volts, so they should be good on that. If you're curious about the size, we'll look at that real quick. We'd say they're about, as it sticks out a little bit, we'll call it 9.5 wide in reality. Because, everything got the little molding and stuff that sticks out on the sides. And then if you, on the length, if you account for the handle grip, we're going to call it 20.5. When I say the handle grip, this part that picks out. Now you cut it off about an inch from that if you don't want to count that, but I would count it. Depends on what you're doing. And then the height, we're going to go about, just under 9. And then the posts on top. So, pretty good size. And we're going to see how they hold up. And maybe we can see how well these panels are doing. The other panels were doing good. When I had the single panel, it was with my little bit of sun a day, I was getting about, it was about 10, when I changed up, it was about 10 amp hours a day. 10 amp hours a day off the single panel. And then I added the second one, and then I was getting about 40 amp hours a day. Because during a couple hours I do get good light, and then morning and evening it's shaded by trees. Which I could get a couple more. I'll take a little quick look at it later. So I jumped from 10 to 40 amp hours in a day, just had the second panel, and it's now that I got 4. I don't know what it can do. I've ran it pretty good, and it seems to be working, keeping it afloat, with the heat gun even running, so it's doing pretty good. We'll have to look at it, see how much I can get in a day. Now that I got those, I'm definitely getting some capacity added in. That'll give me about 200 amp hours of approximately of capacity to not take them below 50% like you're supposed to, which is more than what I was doing with the other ones. But considering I got several years out of them, I think a couple of years I had to look it up, but you can't complain because they got abused, and so we'll see how these do. I guess with flooded cells, if you take care of them, you can last longer, but I kind of want something that you can set it and mostly forget it, eyeball it once in a while. We'll check them out, and as far as the other stuff, the charge controller, the Midnight Solar charge controller, is still working awesome. Great charge controller. I still recommend it. There's one minor issue. The status button quit working on it. Used to, you'd press the little status button and it'd pop up, light up the screen, and you'd be on that menu right now, which would tell you how many amp hours you're pulling, what it's doing, battery voltage, and then how much solar you got, and the status. But all the other buttons work fine. I can still navigate. You can do it. It just brings you back to that quickly and lights it. Which is probably why the button wore out. Me playing with it. But yeah, we'll be back here in a moment after I get these batteries hooked up and the sun comes up, and we'll see how well these batteries or panels are performing. See you in a minute. Alright, so it's tomorrow at noon. 12:27 to be precise. But how much are we doing? Well, let's take a look. Right now we're producing a whopping 59 watts, or 68 watts, 5.3 amp hours. But we've made 42 amps today, which is quite impressive considering the weather. Let's see the real story of making solar power. Yeah, nothing but clouds. But we can take a peek of the roof so y'all can see. From 1 panel to 4. You can see the 4 panels and the super strut with one more left down there on the end I could put in. We'll see. I'm thinking I might stick with 4, because if we upgrade a 5th one in, we might have to get another charge controller or something. So we'll see how this works out and how it all plays out. But considering it's been cloudy all day and I've still made 41 amp hours, I can't really complain too much on my small system. That's 41 amp hours, what I was making with 2 panels all day on a fairly sunny day. So we'll come back again tomorrow. It's supposed to be clear, and check again. Alright, so it's tomorrow again, and it's in the morning still, so the sun's not quite directly over the panels, but at an angle. And it's not nearly as cloudy as it was yesterday. There's a few clouds up there, but not just complete blanket of overcast. So how are we doing? Yesterday we finished up with 70 amp hours made with overcast all day, which is quite impressive to me off of this, considering that's, well, 40 amp hours in a day was what I made off 2 panels in the sun, and then I made 70 on an overcast day with the 4 panels. That's quite impressive. I hadn't ran this one down. I did a little bit and it charged most of it yesterday, and I was just about to hit float, so making some noise. Got a heat gun on. I'm charging my old battery bank, those little baby batteries, and right now we are almost keeping up with the power usage. We're doing a little over 300 watts off the solar, doing 24 amps, and holding 13 volts off my little inverter here. This charge controller and the 4 panels, so that's not too bad. I've just been running them for a couple minutes, and we've made 41 amps already today. It was just about to hit float. It was when I come out here, it was just like a couple amps and sitting on absorb, so it's doing pretty good. Anyway, I might come back in a little bit and play with it, and if it's more impressive, we'll see. But I'm thinking I'm hitting 25 amps almost, and not to 400 watts, so I might opt to just leave it on 4 panels for now, unless I get another charge controller or something. But anyway, hope this helps y'all out somehow, and having a look at what these different items can do, and we'll see you later.